Good Shabbos. This is Ephraim Mordechai coming to you from Mali Ephraim in the Jordan Valley. I want to share a teaching today from the Kedushas Levi on this week's Parsha Achrei Mot. Achrei Mot begins by saying, after the death of two of Aaron's sons, when they came near to the presence of Hashem and died. This is the second reference to Nadav and Avihu dying. The first is in Parsha Shemini, where it said that Nadav and Avihu brought strange fire into the Mishkan and they died. So this comes after Shemini, and this is providing greater clarification of what Nadav and Avihu did that necessitated that Hashem took their lives. So in Kedushas Levi discusses what Rabbi Eliezer says about this. Rabbi Eliezer holds that the two sons of Aaron were guilty of giving halakhic rulings in the presence of their teachers, in other words, preempting them. Rabbi Joshua holds that their sin consisted in entering the sacred precincts in a state of drunkenness, and that's somewhat supported in Shemini when Aaron and his sons are forbidden from going into the Mishkan if they are drunk. So there's some reference to that, but there's no real reference to them issuing a halakhic ruling and therefore necessitating that their lives were lost. So we have to understand, Kedushas Levi tries to explain why a sin described as failing to ask permission from their teachers to issue a halakhic ruling should carry the death penalties at the hands of God. After all, they actually hadn't given an erroneous ruling, so the sin would seem to have been only bad manners. So Kedushas Levi explains that with an analogy in terms of the angels have particular missions in this world, in their worlds, and if they overstep their bounds, if they don't maintain their mission, if they try to take on another mission, then they actually are taken. Their lives are taken away. So, what the Kedushas Levi is saying that what Nadav and Avihu, by issuing a halakhic ruling before Moses, is that they were stepping above their place in the world, and that just as the angels have specific missions, we, the Jewish people, have a certain seder, a certain order that we are supposed to be fulfilling our own roles in this world, and that Nadav and Avihu, by issuing a halakhic ruling, they basically brought incense into the Mishkan before they were taught how to give incense. So they intuited, they understood what was supposed to happen, but it wasn't their place to do that. Because the whole idea is that the Torah, teachings of Torah are transmitted from teacher to teacher, from teacher to student, and then to the Jewish people. So Hashem taught the Torah to Moses, who then taught it to Aaron, to the elders, and then they should teach it to their sons. But Nadav and Avihu tried to skip ahead. They tried to draw closer to Hashem, even when they weren't prepared to do that. And that's the reason why their lives were taken. So what do we learn from this? And I think the lesson for us is that that the Torah is specifically given to us to provide a seder, a certain order in our lives, and that when we don't have patience to do the work that we have to do to raise to the next level, if we try to get there, a good analogy is that a lot of people use drugs in order to draw closer to Hashem. And they do that, and for some it does provide some clarity in terms of their closeness to Hashem. But they're not doing the work that they need to in order to get to that level on their own, and the way Hashem wants us to get there. So I think the lesson for us is that we have to do in Judaism, there's no skipping ahead. We have to do the work. We have to prepare our vessel to be able to contain the light that we're drawing into this world. So when Nadav and Avihu went into the Mishkan, and in essence issued a halakhic ruling by bringing the incense into the Mishkan, their vessel, they weren't prepared to receive the light that they were drawing down. So may we all be blessed to do the work, the hard work that we have to do to prepare our vessels to draw close to Hashem, and to realize that there aren't, there's no shortcuts in Judaism. We have to do the work in order to bring down the light that we're prepared to draw down, and everything is on an incremental stage. That it's so slowly we can draw closer to Hashem, but we have to do the work that's needed. So may we all be blessed to have the strength, the koach, to put in the work that we have to do to draw closer to Hashem. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.